Hey, welcome back to Collecting Nolan. This is Russ, and it's that time of the week again where we look at some of the highest selling Nolan Ryan cards on eBay. But before we get started with that, I just want to give you guys a reminder that there's still time to enter my 100 sub giveaway drawing. All you have to do is just tell me your favorite Nolan Ryan card in a comment in one of my videos from the time that I launched my 100 sub giveaway video up until the end of February. So you haven't had time to do that yet, just try to do that by the end of February and you'll be automatically entered. But for now, let's take a look at some Nolans. Number 10 is the 2012 Upper Deck SP Signature Enshrinement Quad Auto card with Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, Bob Feller, and Sandy Koufax Auto out of 10 and a PSA 8 that sold for $725. This is the only graded copy of this card. All of the SP Signature cards have sticker autographs. I'll talk more about this set later on. Number 9 is the 2024 Topps Triple Threads Deca Pictures Auto Relic Combo Booklet, number DARCB-12, a 3 out of 10 that sold for $1,000. This card, or its sister card, DRCB-11, has been on the show numerous weeks in a row now. It includes autos for Felix Hernandez, Nolan Ryan, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, Clayton Kershaw, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Tom Glavine, and Annie Pettit. This is the lowest sell for this card since first appearing on my eBay list a couple of weeks ago. Back then it sold for $2,505. Number 8 is the 1982 Topps number 90 base card and a PSA 10 that sold for $1,100. There are 223 PSA 10s of this card out there, and this card has been on this list several times. Recent sales of PSA 10 copies of this card have ranged from $999 to $1,458. Number 7 is the 1970 Topps number 712 base card and a PSA 8 that sold for $1,110. There are 925 PSA 8 versions of this card out there and 201 cards graded higher. This sale is actually on the lower end for a PSA 8. Most recent sales have ranged between $1,195 in October of 2024 and $1,428 in November of 2024. Remember, since Nolan was part of the High Series in this year, it was issued later in the year, resulting in a lower number of cards available. Number 6 is the 1988 Leaf number 77 in a Gem Mint 10 that sold for $1,150. I can't even believe I'm seeing this card on here. This is definitely the first time in 1988 anything has gotten anywhere close to this list. There are only 21 PSA 10s of this card. I'm not entirely sure that this sale went through because I couldn't find the sale on 130 point, but eBay says it sold. If it is a legitimate sale, this will be the highest price of this card ever. Previous PSA 10s of this card have sold for $587 back in January of 2021. And back in 2017, a PSA 10 sold for $52. This is a $2 card raw, guys, so if you have a nice copy, you may want to consider sending it in for grading. Number 5 is the 2012 SP Signature Enshrinement Signature 8 and a Beckett Mint 9 for the card and a 10 for the autograph that sold for $1,299.99. Besides Nolan, other autographs on this card include Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, Steve Carlton, Ferguson Jenkins, Whitey Ford, Bob Feller, and Juan Marichal. I've never seen this card before, and I didn't know too much about the 2012 SP Signature cards. Apparently, these cards were issued by Upper Deck in 2012. The product was released on May 1st, 2012 in packs of 3 cards. Each pack contained 2 autographs and 1 multiplayer signed autograph. Each pack sold for $255. Due to licensing issues, no photos of the players were on the cards. Unfortunately, all autos are on sticker autographs. In this set, Nolan had 16 different cards, from single-player autos to this 8 signature card. There are only 2 copies of this card in existence. Number 4 is the 1975 Topps number 500 and a PSA 8 that sold for $2,025. There are only 1,007 PSA 8 copies of this card out there and only 144 higher. This card is notoriously hard to get centered, which this card appears to be beautifully centered, probably even enough for Dylan Double D vintage cards. This card also is notorious for the fisheye print effects, and I really don't see any of those on this card either. So this is a beautiful example. This is a pretty high sale for this card, as previous sales of a PSA 8 were $643 on eBay in January of this year, and a copy sold on Fanatics Collect in January of this year, also for $570. Number 3 is the 1971 Topps number 513 base card in a PSA 8 that sold for $2,305. There are 597 PSA 8 copies of this card out there, and only 71 copies grade higher. PSA 8 versions of this card have previously sold for $2,340 in December of 2024 and $1,850 in October of 2024. Number 2 is the 1969 Topps number 533 base card, a BGS 9 that sold for $3,379.99. I do not know the pop report for BGS, and I cannot find any recent sales of a BGS 9 1969 Nolan Ryan anywhere really. PSA 9 copies of this card have sold for as high as $19,200 in February of 2024 on Heritage auctions, and the most recent PSA 9 sale that I can find was in October of 2024 on Golden that sold for $9,150. While not entirely sure, but I don't know if this BGS 9 rating would translate to a PSA 9 rating, especially in light of the recent centering changes that PSA now has made public. This card is off-center left to right to my eye. And finally, number 1 is the 1968 Topps number 177 Jerry Koosman and Nolan Ryan rookie card in a PSA 7 that sold for $3,499.99. There are 1,723 copies of a Nolan Ryan Topps rookie in a PSA 7, and only 1,437 cards are graded higher. Once again, the rookie is king. Recent sales of a PSA 7 have been around the $3,000 mark for this month and in January. And guys, this wraps it up for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, hit the like button, comment below which one was your favorite card. And I guess I'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.